My life is set. I like the vibe, a lot of death threats. I piss myself all the time. I never come. Honestly, I hate coming. And what I love is to piss myself. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but I love to piss myself. I mean, I will piss myself hundreds of thousands of times over a 30-day period. I'm 1 year old. And
pretty cool life.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
So the abandoned house next door.
Oh God, yeah, the back fell off, right?
The back fell off. Yeah,
shit just fell.
Shit, just like JFK's head.
It just did that.
It just did that. Well, we had having these terrible windstorms. And I come back from the gym about a week ago, and I'm like at the kitchen sink, looking out the window, which faces the abandoned house. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, I'll be damned. And then I notice that a couple yards down on the other side of the house, there's the neighbors with their dogs in the backyard also looking at it, well, like, I'll be damned. Well, this is like, we're all just kind of like, well, ain't that some shit?
What else can you do?
What are you going to do? But a thing that that she brought to my attention the other day when she was picking me up, we were going to go do something. She's like, yeah, that house, next door. I go, yeah. She's like, here's the thing. On the window, on the other side of the house, the side that doesn't face you, there's an open window and a step stool below it. And I'm like, well, man, if that just ain't a fucking Illinois-ass thing to do. Like, the back of the house fell out, but I still got to come in through the window. Fuck learning how to drive.
Right.
Fuck learning how to drive. I ain't doing shit.
Oh, fuck. Speaking of learning how to drive, it's 48 minutes of dogs barking. I'm Jason. That's Bryan.
I rode my bike all the way over here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For real?
Fixie. My little fixie. It's 5 feet tall.
Oh, yeah?
It's got a...
the penny farthing. You rode the penny farthing.
I rode my hipster penny farthing. It's got 18 million PBR stickers on it that I got from PBR Dave back in the day.
Oh, man. It has been a weird week, as it always has been. I think it's been a weird week for like 3 years, but it's we're continuing on. One of the things that drove me nuts this week was the insane morning routine video posted by a gentleman, Anthony
This
Hall.
is nothing but cope to me. This is just a guy coping. I mean, like, obviously, like, this dude got, like, a whole social media team to put this together for him. Like, it's ridiculous, but please go ahead.
The guy's name is Ashton Hall. I said Anthony Hall. That's wrong. That's the guy.
Anthony Michael
actor.
Hall?
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall's morning routine? Cooking up a fried egg, throwing it on the floor, stepping on it with a dirty sock, and then eating it with his hand. That's how Anthony Michael Hall eats. That's his morning routine.
It sounds about right. Ashton Hall is the gentleman who posted this. I'm going to watch it again. I've seen it a bunch of times this week. It kind of went mega viral over on Twitter.
Everywhere, really.
Well, I know, but 751 million views on Twitter. So he's taking off the hostage tape. That's actually the brand name.
Yeah.
A $200 roll of this tape. Pouring himself the Saratoga water. This, again, is at 3:54 in the morning.
And then he jumps off the awning.
Oh,
or
God.
Jumps off
I hope.
That's what I thought it was. It was like 4:20 in the morning.
Well, journaling.
Doom scrolling
on like TikTok. Saratoga water, which is featured prominently in this video, by the way, is a sparkling water. So washing your hands with it, probably not a good idea.
Or your face.
He gets fitted up to go to the gym. You go to the gym with the metal watch on, your sweat's going to eat at the metal, brother. That's not good.
Yes.
So he spends a grand total of a half an hour, maybe an hour at the gym, goes outside.
So I spend more time at the gym than this dude.
And then my favorite bit is the 4 minutes of hang time, because it's the time stamp changes from like 7:56 to 8 a.m. while he's in the air. So the implication is that he spent 4 seconds in the
He's
air.
a time bender.
Yeah.
He's like something from like a medieval tome.
Yes, there was a Twitter reaction to this. Was he floated for 4 minutes. That was at
That's
T.
just sloppy editing, but yes, we're all guilty of it.
At Moderate Dem Chad, when he jumped into the pool, he levitated above it for 4 full minutes. And you're laughing? So yeah, he's still sitting in the hot tub while the staff's arriving. Again, Saratoga water, prominently displayed, takes a shower. He does fuck all for like 4.5 to 5 hours, including rubbing a banana on his face. And then he sits down, does the face dunk again. And then at 9:15 a.m., again, a full 6 hours or 5 and some change after he woke up, he's on some call with a guy and saying like, yeah, well, you got to get it up to 10,000. And that's it. Like, and then his servant, whoever this is bringing him breakfast.
I mean, that's not a bad breakfast.
Not bad. Two slices of avocado toast, couple pieces of bacon, scrambled eggs. Yeah, that's good.
Some Cholula with that.
Yeah, he's got some kind of sauce.
Oh, he's got the hot. Okay,
hot honey.
You know what? He is on. He is on the tip right here with the hot honey on the eggs.
Oh yeah, it's not wrong.
Honey. Okay, so at least one part you say like, well, that's not bullshit.
Right. That feels very real. Yeah. Well, so at Libra Quadruple X and 7 on Twitter there posted a parody. The time codes are all fucked up. It's like every 2 seconds they're going from inside to outside. One's in the car and then a charcuterie board and they're on the phone call. It's a goju bowl. And then they're on a plane for like 5 minutes, and then they're at a soccer game. You know, it's
so good.
They're at the red carpet for Joker Folie à Deux, and then they're in the Batman costume, and all of this within like 2 hours. It's
pretty good.
Sledding.
It's a pretty good bit.
Yeah,
I fuck with it.
Seeing The Rock do a motivational speech, getting arrested, and then back to doing push-ups. And then a minute later, he's somewhere else. Yeah, it's
pretty good.
It's pretty brilliant. And my favorite take on this was Ryan Broderick writing for Garbage Day. The headline, "New Weird Guy Dropped." And, says, last week a video made by fitness influencer Ashton Hall went very, very viral on Twitter. It's been shared over 70,000 times. And after spending the weekend watching all the different parodies, I feel confident saying this is the first real big meme of 2025. I would argue that it's Vance posting, JD Vance faces, but okay. A big thing on TikTok is the Saratoga water. It's probably not an accident that influencers like it, Broderick continues. It has a bright blue bottle that shows up well on camera and just generally looks like a premium product. And there's an entire content economy built around influencers wasting expensive products. It's unclear why Hall is specifically dunking his face in a bowl of Saratoga all the time, and he does it in almost every video. But again, he seems to have realized Instagram's algorithm likes it. The journaling in the bag shot, that's another one. You get your daily carry, you're showing off all your different stuff. I'm being very conscious. I'm doing bullet journaling. The next weird moment in Hall's video is when he peels a banana, eats it, and then rubs the peel on his face. This is also a big TikTok thing. Many influencers claim it works like natural Botox. There's no scientific understanding for this idea, and it largely seems to be based on a deep misunderstanding of how antioxidants work. Oh, well. This is why Garbage Day, the newsletter, is a pro click, by the way. Ryan Broderick really just hits it out of the park a lot of the times. And then finally, there's the time element. Hall, in the caption of his video, wrote, day 191 of the morning routine that changed my life, 3:50 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Sin lives late at night. If you're dealing with a weak mind, bad decisions, or lack of productivity, go to sleep early. And apparently this is a thing amongst those kinds of influencers. If you remember Ed Milet, the beef jerky guy, who said by waking up at 6 a.m. he could change and manipulate time, so he has like 3 days.
I remember this.
This guy, yeah. And then 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. that's my first day, and then I get it's like, I do 3 simultaneous days in one day. I'm like, you time cubed yourself, brother. But yes, Matt Berenstein wrote about Hall's video specifically, quote, 15 years ago this routine would get you called gay or metrosexual, but it's now considered peak alpha male behavior. Something weird has shifted. And another take on this was also extremely funny. Cartoons hate her. This week, a morning routine went viral on Twitter, but unlike other hustle culture, productivity, biohack bro videos, people were struck by how this guy woke up at 3:53 a.m. and did literally fuck all for 2 hours. Here's a poster at YT Boy Analysis. McMad, what got me is how it took him 1 whole minute to walk outside. At Parallax Wisdom, imagine waking up at 3:45 a.m. but literally getting nothing done by 9 a.m. apart from exercise and eating. It's here. At Quanti Crypt, starts and stops reading in the same minute. Great stuff.
Folks, we did. I've not seen Saratoga.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say I'm a New York seltzer water kind of guy. If I'm going for the flavor, I'm going for the Classico. Definitely a Polar.
Okay. I'm told Polar's the way to go, yeah.
There's a couple brands out there you can normally get at your average supermarket that are going to do you well on the seltzer tip.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's weird to think that I get more done in 3 hours in the morning than that guy. Like, I'll go to the gym for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'll fucking watch whatever YouTubes I want to watch, catch up on Hassan or something, or anything that's relevant to like photography. So I'm like, okay, I make a pretty use of my time, burn a couple hundo calories.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm getting more done than this guy, apparently. I'm listening to Hassan call, someone a hog. Chat, this is so Chat, what the fuck are you talking about?
So the Daily Dot, I don't usually use them as a source, but I did want to bring up this particular bit. I don't know how familiar you are with Klarna.
I've used it once or twice.
Nice.
Buying musical instruments and stuff like that.
Okay. That's actually a pretty good use case, honestly, if you're going to do that. Yeah. So Klarna is a buy now, pay later company, short-term loans kind of thing. Well, apparently they have teamed up with DoorDash in what is sure to be a disaster for everyone's personal finances. At More Perfect US, which is the Twitter account for More Perfect Union, DoorDash and Klarna have signed a deal where customers can choose to pay for food deliveries in interest-free installments or deferred options aligned with your payday schedules. And of course, people online went a little nuts. Roger at roger.bluesky.social at roger.bsky.social, reading about Klarna/DoorDash partnership is like hearing the 2 most vapid and annoying people got engaged. And there's a lot of folks that are saying, using Severance memes, your Audi financed a cheesy gordita crunch, born too late to ever own a home, born too soon to live for free in the metaverse, born just in time to finance a pizza from Domino's. Is a Sopranos meme, DoorDash collection outside your door because you missed a Chipotle payment. Who is that guy's name?
I don't know, but he's popped up in a couple Finance Bro videos, and it's like, this is a guy that I want to take like a rusty cheese grater to his face. He's like one of those guys like, oh, millennials are just really entitled, and they just they don't want to work hard, and like if you ain't got this, you ain't got real like avocado toast is keeping you from your dreams, boomer brain.
It wouldn't surprise me if that wasn't the same guy, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I've seen him before too, and I just can't remember his name because he's just a piece of shit.
He is someone who should be shot into the sun, and nothing would be lost.
But yes, I have defaulted on my Chipotle loan.
All my Chipotle bucks are gone.
Just terrible. It's terrible. It's the future, and it sucks. I thought we would have flying cars, but instead I have to finance
my burrito.
My burrito, yeah. Well, another thing that happened, chess.com decided to just start shit for no reason on Twitter. On Twitter, the official account for chess.com, which is a website where you play chess. There's nothing else to it, right? But they decided, yes, we are going to do this. And so they posted accepting new name ideas for this piece. And then they posted the head of the bishop. And this post from one of their administrators, Tarjeijs, Tarjeijs. From Norway. So no idea how to pronounce that. Your guess is as good as mine. Shoot me an email, jason@48minutesdogsbarking.com. Let me know how you think it's pronounced. So on March 14th, they put that post out. They had done something similar last month. Hey, we're going to rename the rook. That did not ignite as much of a shitstorm.
Oh, but the bishop, because we're living in like a crypto radcath future.
A theocratic order, y'all. Yes, sir. But yes, not a lot of people took it as a joke. This piece says, many users perceive the post as an attempt to erase religious history, reacting with outrage. Quote, why are you trying to erase the word bishop? One user asked, while another responded, that's a bishop. How are you calling yourself chess and not knowing that? Well, you're missing the point of the post. We're renaming it. And why would we throw out hundreds of years of history just because it hurts your feelings? Others were more aggressive. Quote, fire whoever you have in charge of your social media and beg for forgiveness, one demanded. Jesus. Quote, no, you are not going to rename the bishop. Not now, not ever. Go woke, go broke, checkmate, another one responded.
Oh, that's amazing.
Let's say a number of videos also covered the outrage. Critical.
I wonder how many people are up in arms and making a culture war thing out of this. How many of them can actually play chess?
About 5 of them.
Yeah.
I'd say it's less than 10.
Because, like, as someone that actually likes to play chess, I find this preposterous. Not surprised, unfortunately. I saw
Sadly,
this brewing a
yeah.
couple days ago. Like, oh, this is going to be stupid. Like, I almost want, like, oh, this is going to be something Jason's going to want to talk about. Like, I just kind of, like, I just put my hand on my computer monitor and took a deep breath, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you can see these coming sometimes.
I was like the monkey from Congo.
Of course, the gentleman critical, I'm not going to bother to try to spell that, CR1, capital T, I, capital K, A, capital L. You know, Penguin Zero, that asshole. He posted a video, and the video is called How This Started a War on Twitter. One of the quotes from the video is here, they thought they would just get dumb names. What they got was a catastrophic war zone, a meltdown with bodies piling down the street all over this engagement bait post. Because that's exactly what it is. It's engagement bait.
But was it supposed to be this kind of engagement bait?
Right.
It was supposed to be funny and lighthearted, but instead, like, someone probably ended up beating their wife. They got so angry about it.
About chess. Chess has gone woke, folks.
Folks!
Mr. Producer, the chess players have gone woke.
They've gone woke. The they, theming, the chessboard.
What is it going to be? Queening? Are they going to be in the queening chair now? Why, he's very excited about queening all of a sudden. But yes.
Your wife is very excited about queening? Is that what I heard?
That's what I heard.
Jesus Christ, man.
I don't know.
Say on here.
I know. I know. There's children
They're
listening.
disappearing people off the street for being against Israel. They're not long before they start taking people off the street for eating pussy.
First they came for the podcasters. Yeah, I know. I know.
The podcasters. It's very interesting, Mr. Robinson. You said that you've got yourself a little bit of throat cancer. I wonder how this happened. You said you don't smoke.
How is this the
How
deal?
is this? Your wife seems very happy when she does her chores for you, yes? Do you reward her with your mouth?
Mr. Kissinger, I refuse to answer this question on the lines that it may incriminate me. I plead the fifth, etc., etc. I know nothing. Anyway, so yeah.
They sent me to El Salvador for eating box.
God damn. A band that we really like, a band called Gel. Stereo Gum reported this, it says about a week ago. Gel had
7
broken
days
up.
ago.
Yeah.
I was driving home. I was at a stoplight, refreshed Instagram, saw their post, was immediately texting people at the stoplight, being like, yo, what the fuck? Because they were supposed to be here in about a month with Spirit Box.
Right,
and that show's
right.
already sold out. And like Spirit Box, fucking great, don't get me wrong here. But
they're not the reason that you would want to go, and I think I agree with that.
Spirit Box is cool. There's the other two bands of that band are really good in their own right. But I was like, oh, holy shit, I get to see Gel at the pageant? Oh, fuck me, that's awesome. And then they fucking break up because, well, you'll explain why.
Exactly right. So if you're not familiar with Gel, they're a hardcore band from New Jersey. They broke up after 2 nights in Tokyo because their guitar player was gooning, essentially. That's what they said. Their guitar player, Anthony Webster, who had been in a bunch of other bands before, had stolen money, tens of thousands of dollars, they say. He apparently did it in such a public way, like Venmo or something, where like they could see the receipts. He spent a lot of the band's money on OnlyFans and Cash App transactions. He also apparently posted nude images of the band on Reddit.
Yeah, there's 2 young ladies in jail. Pretty fucking low.
And then, of course, to add insult to injury, they said, he was a dangerous driver. He said no one else could drive the van but him, that kind of thing. And it just is, it's terrible because that's a fucked up situation to be in. He should not have had that kind of power. One person in a band should not control the band's finances, at least as far as I'm concerned, when you're at that level. Yeah. These things happen. I understand this. Now, the only thing that's actually funny to come out of this, because the rest of it is just fucking deeply psychotic.
It's miserable. It is a miserable thing.
The only thing that really was interesting to come out of it was that Gel, as an act of defiance, released a full-length song that was fully AI generated on their official Spotify page, and the song's called Gooners. And I'll play a little clip here. You'll hear, it's not a hardcore band. It's pop punk, apparently.
Gel is no longer a band, and therefore will not be playing any of our currently scheduled upcoming shows. The reason is pretty simple at its core. The former guitar player Anthony Webster has committed such heinous acts in trying to forward himself in his musical career that he's done irreparable damage to the band in the process. It's affected us as human beings more than we can even attempt to explain, to the point of being completely unable to do the band anymore. Here are some examples of what he's done. He's stolen tens of thousands of dollars from us.
I didn't expect to laugh at this as hard as I did.
Tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah.
It's absurd. I mean, it's right up there with like the AI generated country songs about drunk driving.
Yes, absolutely.
Doing my funny drives.
It's not gay if you're drunk too, I think was the other one. Yeah.
It's fucked. I feel very fortunate that I got to see and photograph Gel last year.
Oh, yeah.
Duck Room, and you were at that show.
I was at that show, yeah.
Watching, some poor girl get crowd killed so hard to the stage it dislocated her.
Multiple people at that show.
Yeah, and it was like 2 dudes that like were from West County, and one of them was wearing a shirt that says "I love microplastics."
Yes.
And I was like, damn, man, talk about like ruining everyone's good time. Like, I'm okay for a fucking rowdy ass crowd, but like, when you're just going around with closed fists and like just slamming into people, like, but that was still like a fun, cool show. And yeah. I am bummed that has happened to them. I am bummed that Gel is no longer a band.
Well, I hope they can get something else going.
And here's the funny thing. Mr. Webster, his new band's playing the single in a couple of weeks.
Ooh, oh, that's fun. Everyone's going to show up and make sure that he's really welcome here in the St. Louis music community.
I'm actually kind of amazed it hasn't been canceled.
Well, time will tell. Are you ready to talk about crypto scams this time?
Let's talk about that fucked up shit, bro. Fuck me up, fam.
It's Crypto Scam of the Week time.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
This here, according to the Cointelegraph, trader nets $480K with a 1500x return before a BNB meme coin crashes 50%. So yes, yet another bit of, maybe that's insider trading. An unknown trader, this says, according to Zoltan Vardai, an unknown trader pocketed nearly $500,000 in profit from a newly launched meme coin shortly before the token lost half its value, fueling insider trading allegations amid a recent wave of meme coin collapses. The savvy trader made a 1500x return on his initial investment less than 24 hours on the Bubb meme coin. Look On Chain wrote the following, quote, turned $304 into $482K on $Bubb. This trader spent only $304 to buy 43.94 million Bubb and sold 28.9 million Bubb for $122K, leaving 15.6 million or $360K. That was March 21st. So yes, very strange. Look at the graph there. There's your all-time chart as of a couple days ago, and
There you go.
yeah, looking pretty weird.
I mean, it's not the worst chart I have seen for a situation like this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And apparently this kind of got a little bit of a bounce because Binance co-founder and chief customer service officer Yi He commented on one of Bubb's posts on Twitter. That's the Twitter account at Bubb and B, B-U-B-B-N-B. Fucking, these Twitter names are out of control. But yes, a move that was interpreted by traders as a sign that maybe the token was going to get listed. Crypto investors fools responded to Look On Chain's Twitter post. Can you tag these kinds of posts with insider so I can mute all of these? I'd rather be naive about it. And honestly, yeah, I kind of get that.
Not know about this terrible garbage.
Just terrible stuff. These kinds of things happen all the time, unfortunately, which is really both sad and good for me because I have things to like write and talk about.
Yeah.
But who are these insiders? How are they? Like, do they know the dev team? That's where I really want to get into the hows and the whys. Is it just that they know the guy?
Telegram, a lot of it, a lot of trade groups and stuff like that. A couple years ago, like I was just fucking bored and poking around. I was a part of a couple private trader groups, just like as a fly on the wall. There would be times like, hey, this coin's going to launch tomorrow. This is going to be the contract address.
So did you
personally? No.
Okay.
Definitely saw a lot of inside baseball stuff. I don't know if you would call it insider trading, but like a fair heads up.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's just not called that, because it's not regulated like a security, so it can't be prosecuted.
But getting a heads up like, hey, this guy who did this coin, he's going to launch something tomorrow. This is when he's going to launch it. It's going to be a quote-unquote fair launch, but he gave me a heads up and things like that. And sometimes it would be bullshit and like rug in an hour, and sometimes it would be one of those things where people would be like, oh, goddamn. Like, I had like a couple $100 I could have thrown into that and like turned it into 5 or 6 figures. So it happens.
Just for sake of argument, none of this is legally actionable and or financial advice. Say that I'm a guy. It's looking at me kind of like, I don't know, it's questionable. But say I'm a guy who wants to 1500x and like, get some walking around money. $500,000 of walking around money. Is the only way to do that in crypto to be unscrupulous like this?
I would say these days, yes.
Oh, shit.
If you're talking 2 or 3, maybe if you're talking between like 2020 and like 2023, I think you just had to be lucky. Like there are plenty of people that bought like that cycle's meme tokens like Shib or Floki or Feg or a couple others and sat on that stuff for 6-8 months and were able to turn a less than $1,000 buy into sometimes 7 figures just by sitting on their hands for not even 10 months. So I don't see that happening anymore. Everything is so much more short-lived.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, sometimes we're talking about 5 minutes on these. Pump.fun really ruined it for a lot of people, I'm guessing, because of the ease of use.
Ease. Because it used to be, you kind of knew something was going to be shitty if it had certain markers to, like, its supply and all that. Because, like, oh, this is just, like, a contract that's been copied by it. Like, there's a certain GitHub. This is how your code would be for, like, a basic, like, BNB token.
Okay.
So you would see stuff like that. And I've also talked about how, like, 2 or 3 years ago, if someone was going to do a rug, sometimes they don't even make a fucking Telegram channel anymore.
No?
Like, they just fucking post it on Twitter, have the fucking influencers hype it up. But, I mean, for stuff that, like, I would watch be a fucking scam, like, particularly on BNB when that was the hottest chain, we actually have, like, really interesting websites and, like, real white papers and, like, all these tokenomics, and
it looked legit.
If you were looking as a financial experiment, like, oh, this is curious, and then, like, you'd refresh the page and it's down, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
God damn. Yeah.
Yeah, like it'd be like, damn, this is actually kind of interesting. Like, I wonder how this is gonna play out. Well, I can't because the guy fucking rugged for $2,000, but it looked like he spent like a week
making the website,
and everything. Like, I was actually got like really clean graphic design. Like, shit, man. Like, if I'd buy some shoes from this website, kind of thing. Like, you know, like, and now it's really just, you know, you squeak a fart out.
Yeah.
You post the cash tag on Twitter with the CA, the contract address, and it's done. I used to know a guy who said that when it came to shit coins, meme coins, whatever you want to call them, if you weren't one of the first 40 traders, you're exit liquidity. If you're not one of the first 40 wallets, you're exit liquidity.
Yeah, you're holding the bag as it were. Yeah. Yeah, the chart looks bad. Everything kind of looks bad on this. Not loving this. It feels bad. It's evergreen for this segment, but it's also fucking tragic because it continues to happen. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's basically like, what if the stock market really didn't have any rules?
What if the stock market was a casino?
Yeah.
I mean, it's closer to the
casino. It's, you know, fucking, we're in crime season.
It's tragic. Well, you know who hasn't had bad luck?
It's our favorite faux hawked man of the hour.
That's right, baby. Sean Patrick Riley, age 48, only 5 years older than me. He got started as a comedy writer back in his home state of Idaho. He was a co-host on KUOI 89.3 FM's radio show, the Athena Superpower Hour. He was co-host on that in 1998. But right around that time, I believe it was 1995, he also started a website, Seanbaby.com.
This is some weird nostalgia looking at this. When every website kind of looked like this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a fixation on 80s culture, which wasn't nearly as prevalent as it is now, where it was kind of like, oh, haha, Mr. T, that's interesting. Or
it's a crack baby, fool.
Or, you know, everything's done up in sprites that look like Mega Man. Oh, okay, that's kind of fresh and exciting. That's how old this is.
Yeah, this is a lot of things before they got absolutely beaten to the fucking ground.
Very much. I mean, Maddox kind of has this same style. Black page, white text, various images strewn throughout. Very Web 1.0 web design as far as like writing this. He's talking from the perspective of someone who has seen everything else that Danny Trejo has been in, which, again, it's a fairly recent phenomenon, I feel like, to be a Danny Trejo superfan.
I want to say that started about 15 years ago, when he really started to become part of the mainstream consciousness. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of people would point to Desperado. A lot of people would point to stuff in that era. What I think is interesting, if we go back to an interview he did for a local CBS affiliate, and it was mancave.cbslocal.com. It was Man Cave Daily did an interview with him. Martin Totland, freelance journalist writing here, talks about his time in San Francisco, which is where he was at the time, which was 2015. But asking him about growing up, he says, I wrote jokes since I was a little kid. If I wrote a paper for school, it was funny. I had a shitty comedy radio show I did when I was a kid, just my own tapes, and played it for friends and family. Some of them hated it, which was good, probably because it made me work harder. In college, Riley worked as a computer lab monitor. This was at the time when most people in America didn't use the internet or even had access to it. Most of his job was turning on the computer for old folks or refilling printer paper. I had a lot of free time to kill, so I started writing jokes on the internet, says Riley. Before starting his umpteenth Bud Light, by the way. I love that little flavor text there. After graduating, Riley worked as a graphic designer for a magazine for a year, but writing jokes was always the top priority. Quote, I quit my day job as soon as that made enough money that I could barely eat and pay rent. The college, by the way, was the University of Idaho. Pretty much since then, he's been on a tear, writing for such places as Electronic Gaming Monthly, OneUp.com, all while doing SeanBaby.com and collaborating with the folks. We talked about this a long way back. Old Man Murray. He did have a column in EGM called The Rest of the Crap, usually about bad games. OneUp.com reposted a lot of the EGM work. And then he did a bit for OneUp.com's show called Broken Pixels, which was a web series, but he parlayed his writing on Seanbaby.com into many, many, many other jobs. I mean, some of these articles here from like the late 90s. Here we go. 1999 year in review. I love that one. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It starts, provided all the fun of watching a relative slowly die, but did it with all the stress of ritualistic torture. TV's Regis gave contestants multiple choice questions the show's producers get asked by their kids that morning, showing that the deterioration of the education system finally caught up with our game shows. That's how it opens. And then it goes into Tom Green kind of sucks. Dixie Chicks is all right. Dawson's Creek, like he's very, very tuned in to pop culture. He loves just throwing in shit about fat people, though. He does have a bit of a fat phobic streak. Talking about Carrie Wilson of Wilson Phillips, formerly of Heart, really bad. And
there is this paragraph. This first paragraph here does end with an amazing bit of writing. However, she's a tremendous horror actress. In this film, there's one powerful scene where she enters the operating room and a surgeon yanks a baby calf out of a pregnant cow that swallowed a hand grenade. the fuck? Huh?
Carrie Wilson, I don't know if you remember this, but she did actually do a special where she basically allowed camera crews into the operating room to show her gastric bypass surgery. And so he was describing what happened on screen, basically. That's 1999. 9/11. Sorry. After 9... I don't know why I think I was doing the Norm Macdonald thing. 9/11. So February of 2002.
Who's this Adolf Hitler guy?
Yeah. Sounds kind of like a jerk.
He did what?
I'm reading further here. But yes, February of 2002, Seanbaby wrote an article that I think still kind of stands tall. And the headline is The Nation That Freaked Out. It starts with, we've been at war with terrorism for about 5 months now, which may come as a shock to you if you're an eccentric hot air ballooner just coming down from your ridiculous 2-year trip around the world. In which case, let me tell you, we've been doing a lot of freaking out. We've almost stabilized, so I've categorized the specific types of freaking out we did and possible ways to avoid them in the future, just in case terrorism wins the war and we end up living in a world that's required by law to be terrifying. Now, 23 years ago, right on the money. He talks about how airport security, mostly theater, mostly bullshit, right? He says, over the holidays on the air, I saw airport security take away a 60-year-old woman's tweezers. Tweezers. I want to tell everyone right now, you don't need to pretend to be stupid that hard to make me feel safe. In fact, if I'm ever a passenger on a plane that gets taken over by a 60-year-old woman with a pair of tweezers, I fucking deserve to die. And after I'm dead, I'll walk up to the pearly gates and say, "Hi, St. Peter. I'm with the group that got killed by the old lady with tweezers. I assume there's a section of heaven for unbelievable pussies." Hysterical panic. The worst job in America used to be poisonous animal masturbator. After September 11th, it became 911 phone dispatcher. I have a friend who has this job, and he spent the last 5 months of his life politely hanging up on old ladies who call the emergency line to report cars with out-of-state plates. Yeah, everyone thinks it's going to be anthrax. You know, if someone was looking to crush America, they would almost certainly start with our suburban elderly, but that doesn't mean you get your own personal bomb squad every time you might have won $1 million. Accusations of infanticide. Last month, I actually saw a guy with a flag sticker on his car, and he had crossed out, "Proud to be an American," and wrote in, "Proud to be an Afghani baby killer." This, of course, came with the small cost of several hundred foot-shaped dents in his car. Now, I do agree with him and the other crazies that killing babies is wrong. But the fact is, I think most soldiers are probably too preoccupied with fighting armed religious fanatics to throw an infanticide party. I'm not saying anyone should try to kill babies. In fact, if you're about to execute someone and notice there's a baby on the electric chair, go get that baby off of there. But we can't just stop a war and let the terrorists explode whatever they want because they have children. You could also look at it this way. If a baby is being raised in a terrorist camp, I have a feeling it's not going to grow up to be a volunteer worker. a little bit of the ugly American coming out there. And then, of course, reason for oversensitivity. At the start of the Afghani conflict, our Navy got in trouble after the media took a snapshot of a bomb where one of them wrote, "Hijack this, F-slurs." Gay people were so outraged that an explosive could be so rude that the Navy's Rear Admiral S.R. Pietro Paoli was forced to publicly apologize. Plus, for fuck's sake, his job title is Rear Admiral. Talking about rewriting history. He says the upcoming re-release of E.T. will take out the line, "You can't be a terrorist for Halloween," because it's inappropriate to mention terrorism even if it's a mother discouraging her child from becoming one. Also, the episode of Seinfeld where George's fiancée dies from an allergic reaction to envelope glue was pulled from the air because it had the chance of reminding people about anthrax before they watched the half-hour news special about anthrax.
So you're saying the funniest episode
Yes.
and the funniest arc of Seinfeld?
And then
Double dipped. I'm sorry. Just the
okay.
fact that George is secretly excited about his fiance dying.
It's fantastic. I love it. Because that's just how much of a piece of shit he is. This is a guy that wanted to cheat on an IQ test. Of course he's an asshole.
Yeah, I'm sorry. George Costanza,
No,
probably one of the greatest sitcom characters.
Truly a piece of shit, and we love him because of it, I think, is what happens. And then, of course, the last part is the conspiracy theory. This was during the time of his life, and he was living in Portland, so he constantly mentions it. A couple of months ago here in Portland, I was at a cabaret. A cabaret is what art students call it when they strip. It's more artistic and socially relevant than normal stripping because there are drag queens and people perform little musical skits before they take their tits out. Anyway, in the middle of it, a, quote, burlesque performer got on the microphone and gave a confusing speech hinting that the war in Afghanistan was not about fighting terrorism, but an elaborate plot to do something sneaky. Before she specified what that was, she said, and I quote, "I like the flag and what it means to me. The stripes, as you probably know, represent rebellion, and I've always liked the fashion of stars, which we might one day return to." Then she danced around in American flag panties to a song about sneaking. Clearly, she was a magnificent dumbass, which brings up an important point. It's not a very good conspiracy if even the naked dumbasses know about it. Whoever's in charge of our government secrecy should be told that our nation's stupid bikini girls know everything.
Wait, that's not a photo of Chappell-Roan?
It is not. No, it is not. Sadly, there's a red-haired woman with a red, white, and blue outfit on.
H-O-T-T-O-G-O, the stars and stripes, they've got to go.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Not wrong. So Seanbaby translated this into just endless amount of writing. That writing got him the attention of
So much fucking content.
so much writing.
I would spend a whole entire day reading this website. My dad had it sounds so weird to say, but my dad had the internet. And sometimes if he's like, "Yeah, I just really want to watch sports today. If you want to go fuck around the computer," like, "Yes, sir, I will go fuck around the computer."
Absolutely.
Go read Something Awful and Seanbaby and, you know, all the other websites. And yeah, I mean, this and like iMockery, Newgrounds. God, I would spend like a whole entire fucking afternoon just like, okay, what have they written in like the last couple weeks?
He claims, of course, on his new website, 1-900-HOT-DOG, to have invented being funny on the internet. But 2009, after many, many years of writing his own website, got back into EGM. He also started writing for Cracked, which a lot of people that we follow around now on the internet came from Cracked. I don't know if you're familiar with, Jason Pargin, a.k.a. David Wong, the writer of the many, many books that I love and adore.
Yeah, there's dozens of them.
Brockaway also came from there. You had
Robert from Behind the Bastards.
Yes.
He has also a lot of Cracked.com alumni.
Yes.
And they tell some crazy-ass stories when the Cracked guys are on those shows. You know, Behind the Bastards, It Can Happen Here, all that stuff.
So he goes back to writing for EGM, but also around the same time was writing for an MTV2 show that I did not even know he was involved in. The Adventures of Chico and Guapo. Did you ever see this? all I've been able to find is just the theme song and the title screen. Well, the theme song lays out what the show's about. So here's a little taste of it.
Guapo, Martinez, and Chico Bustelo been best friends since they was fucked. Now they're working Manhattan at a music studio for the boss man Frank C. Angela. The receptionist is Concepcion, a sexy Latina who be answering the phone. Or if the beat is Chico's cousin Cesar. He's a musical genius extraordinary. Taking all the credit for Cesar's music. It's Hank Holiday, the in-house producer. And Angelo Productions. They work and play, so let's see what's cracking at the studio today. Peace.
So you can still get the DVDs, by the way, of The Adventures of Chico and Guapo Season 1
Amazing.
on Amazon. $8.
That's not bad.
Not bad. Oh, a $4 delivery fee, though. That sucks.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. $12 for a DVD of a show I've never really seen. But it was a PG-rated show, despite Seanbaby's articles sometimes veering into weird territory. It said, very funny, one of the reviewers on Amazon says, fans of Beavis and Butthead, this is your style. The show is quick-witted, smart, and provides good social commentary without ODing. Monster X saying, one of the best cartoons you're not watching. This was 5 years ago he wrote this, in November of 2020. The show was hilarious, and it should have gotten a second season, and I hope they bring it back with this new interest in animation. The Adventures of Chico and Guapo were well ahead of their time.
It doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, does it?
It does not. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it actually does. I'm sorry. MTV2, set in New York. 2 interns work in the music business. Oh, they do the Beavis and Butthead thing where they do commentary on real shows as they go through. Oh, I did not know this. Shorts of the cartoon originally aired on the Orlando Jones Show on FX, which then became a regular series on MTV2. All 5 episodes were released on DVD. All 5 of them, folks. Orlando Jones does 2 voices in the show.
A Latina receptionist from the Concepcion Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Jeez. We were hurting for about 10 years after 9/11. We just were absolutely huffing paint thinner, eating lead paint chips.
And yeah, this would have been 2006. So yeah. But yeah, so working for Cracked, doing all this stuff. Seanbaby has been...
The way that Seanbaby was nostalgic about the 80s, we are becoming nostalgic about the 90s and early aughts.
Oh, absolutely.
A mirror of dog shit.
Pretty much. But yeah, his Cracked articles were usually like, hey, here's a bunch of ways that games try to be sexy. Desperate poontang hunt. Gluing dongs to an existing game.
Oh, be 'em and eat 'em.
Yeah. Criminally insane depravity and sexual assault. So he really does his research, but also cracks fucking jokes. Here, under gluing dongs to an existing game, he writes, now that we've talked about the boner shriveling ways madmen tried to mix pornography and games, let's look at some adult games that were trying for more hilarious parody than arousal. Developers have had outrageous ideas such as, what if Banjo-Kazooie had more shit? Or maybe a game where you attack your mother-in-law's asshole, which links to a video, which is, of course, unavailable.
Unfortunately unavailable. Yeah. Lost to time. But yes, Astro Tit, which was a version of Asteroids. Titty crack. Yeah, just
so,
I mean, basically, this is an article about all of the games that are in the top 10 list on Steam.
Right. Well, Beat 'em and Eat 'em isn't on Steam, at least not yet.
I mean, spiritually.
Yeah, Beat 'em and Eat 'em remastered, coming next year. But Custer's Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
So after Cracked, he started his own website, 1-800-HOT-DOG. But then he decided, you know what? It's not enough to be a writer, a full-time kickboxer type of dude or any of that stuff. He had to be a game developer, too. That's right, folks. The now defunct card basic arithmetic video game Calculords was his.
What?
Yeah, so in this interview from, again, mancave.cbs.local, it said, where did the ideas from Calculords come from? Something is wrong with the part of my brain that relaxes, so I have dozens of game designs that range anywhere from 40-page fully illustrated documents to a scrap of paper that says Final Fight but accept time travel. Calculords was my most refined and probably most unique idea, so I focused on it. And so it is a card game that also teaches you to do math.
Oh yeah, I heard about this a little bit. Yeah,
and so it does. I mean, we're seeing the layout here from the old game there. Yeah, they were just adding Android support when this article was first published, which was 2014. And it was free for iPhone and iPad. It's no longer a thing. Calculords 2 was supposed to be coming out, but it never did.
Much like Barkley Shop and Jam Gaiden 2, it'll never actually grace our screens.
Yeah.
Have we done Barkley Shop and Jam?
I don't think so. I think we talked around it when we did the Zyborn Clock episode. Okay. I think we mentioned it briefly. But yes, 2008, the game idea was a design doc, and then he started a company called Ninja Crime. It took them about 5 or 6 years to get it out the door. But yes, they made their own video game, which is kind of the way things go.
That's pretty cool. It seems like a functional thing that was worth being interviewed over, so...
Yeah.
Good for him. It's weird to think that something that's like something made by a contemporary individual like Seanbaby is now like, oh, this is kind of like in the internet's dustbin already.
Yeah, that is so strange because it was only about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
now that I mentioned Barkley Shop and Gaiden, like, could we even find a download that we would want to fuck with? An EXE.
I'm sure someone on the archive.org probably has it up there.
You've played it, right?
I have seen people play it. I've never actually played it myself.
I'm going to say it's better than some of the Assassin's Creed games.
Interesting.
It is really weird that an RPG Maker game like that is so much fun. It's like that and Undertale.
I also liked Lisa and Always Sometimes Monsters. As far as RPG Maker games.
The Lisa series is the most depressing thing ever influenced by Earthbound.
You would not be wrong. So the last thing that is most recent that Seanbaby was involved in was fellow Cracked alum Jason Pargin, and Robert Brockaway created a podcast called Big Feats, recapping the show Mountain Monsters. Brian, do you know about Mountain Monsters?
I know about Mountain Monsters.
Mountain Monsters is the most fake show in the history of fake reality shows. It's about a bunch of guys, bearded hillbillies, who decide they're going to capture a cryptid every week. And so they go through this laborious process of building all these traps and stuff to try to capture a Bigfoot, and then they never do it because, it got away or whatever. It is absolutely ridiculous. Because of that, because of articles about this podcast and about listening to a couple episodes, I started watching it on HBO Max, and I cannot fucking stop. So
I just remember seeing like GIFs and clips of it on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, this is absurd. If you sold DVDs of this at the Bass Pro Shop in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
The gun sales would be crazy.
Yeah. Well, look, you can get old episodes on DVD at the Love's truck stop. We go into Arkansas, and I saw Mountain Monsters on the racks there, and I was like, fuck. This is real. It's not even a joke. It's not even a joke. This is like, people love this shit. And,
I bet you didn't buy it.
Yeah, I got HBO Max. I got them all, basically.
But you're I'm Mr. Physical Media.
Yeah, Blu-ray only.
I'm talking like Ice-T.
Blu-ray only.
Blu-ray only?
Blu-ray only.
Because it doesn't deteriorate like a DVD?
It's 1080p by default, so...
Yeah.
Unless you got some fancy-ass 4K bullshit. Yeah, not doing that. Anyway, so that's Seanbaby.
Yeah, Seanbaby. He has a weird haircut. Also, didn't he write for Suicide Girls as well? So he was another one of those guys.
That...
Or no, he was Suicide Girls adjacent.
Yeah, I could never find anything about that. I think
he got to smell fingers, as it
were. He got to do all sorts of crazy shit living in Portland. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, living in Portland in the late 90s, early aughts must have been wild.
Yeah, because then he moved to San Francisco because that's where the jobs were.
Now the jobs aren't there.
I know. It's one of those things where, like, man, I've watched this guy's career and... everything I see, and I'm just like, yeah, good for him, man. Fuck yeah. Dude's funny. What do you want to do?
For a guy that grew up on a farm in Idaho.
Right.
It's a great story.
Good for him.
Yeah. No, I have no ill will towards Seanbaby, a guy who I have never met and probably never will.
No, but I just mean, like, sometimes we see these sites and we see these people that have just had these really long careers, and you're like, this guy's kind of an idiot, actually.
This guy's kind of a jackass. This was the Dave Portnoy of his niche.
Exactly, yeah. But no, with Sean, it's just like, fuck, this dude understand. I mean, he co-hosted some stuff on G4 for a while. Like, he was in the stuff right at the time when you needed to be.
He fucking hit. He had the right skills at the right time.
Yeah, prolific writer, very funny. Didn't hurt that he, was camera liked him. Just a lot of stuff, a lot of good things in his favor.
I remember when he started contributing to EGM. EGM was my video game magazine of choice. I still follow a couple of those guys.
Oh, sure.
Dan Shu. It's weird to find out how many of those guys that from like the heyday of me reading EGM are just like, yeah, I'm a PR guy for like Xbox now.
Wasn't Major Nelson an EGM guy too?
He might have been, but I still have a tote full of all of my old EGMs in my mom's basement. I wonder how well they fared over the years. But EGM was my video game magazine. I know it came back a couple times.
I would say they did a web one, and they did, there was a bunch of.
I really loved EGM. There's a couple issues that they did, particularly around the same time that Seanbaby was starting to hit. That I think were like, it's weird to think of like a magazine as being like, yeah, man, you guys were really fucking on it. But like, yeah, you go back and read an old issue of Game Fan, it's like visual diarrhea.
Yeah.
Remember when I was putting that tote together, the store in my mom's basement, and going through a couple of those old Game Fans and being like, this is fucking hard to read.
It was the extreme graphic design era.
These were also the only people really writing about the about Persona and weird import games before they were released or whatever. And also they had, the anime stuff. Wow, we really are doing it. We're becoming nostalgic about late 90s, like...
fucking print media.
It's weird. Because it doesn't exist.
I know.
It is so strange to think that, like... Imagine, like, when our parents were the age that we are right now.
Okay.
I know, unfortunately, your father...
Well, I'm not.
Yeah, but imagine your mom. Well, your mom did. She's still here. Sorry, the beer and a half is really getting to me today.
It's all good.
You look like you want to hit me with a brick.
I'm just like, you know what? I'm
just gonna let me riff. I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But how little, in some respects, media changed from when they were teenagers to their late 30s, early 40s.
I really feel like radio changed a lot for them. I think television changed a lot for them. TV going from 3 channels to cable was a huge explosion for them.
Yes, but I feel like those are like expansions and systems building on top of each other.
Versus disruption, yeah.
Versus retraction. I feel like the wave has come and the tide has gone in.
Right.
And it ain't fucking coming back.
No, because the other option is... we go back to zines.
I mean,
zines
some people
are coming
back.
Yeah, some people still do.
People do online zines in like a PDF form, or they will fucking do physicals. And there are...
well, doesn't Rory Blank do a zine?
Mr. Rory Blank, friend of the show, does a zine. A couple other people, a couple of photography groups do one. There's some people in Japan, they'll do like a quarterly zine. Former guest of the show, from Mr. Buddyhead himself, he's done a couple... zine type magazines over the last couple of years. I've thought about doing one a couple times, and then I just like, that's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. Something awful user Gom G0M does a zine.
In that tote with the old EGMs, I have like a bunch of local zines. Minor Threat, I think, was a local zine here in St. Louis.
Okay.
Some old issues of Playback where I started my writing and photography stuff, and it felt like when you looked at a website like Seanbaby or iMockery, something awful, it was kind of like an online zine in a way.
It was a collection of that person's interests. They did it all. It was all DIY.
It was hyper specific. The only audience they were really writing for was like themselves or someone like them.
And usually, if they were good enough, if they stuck to it long enough, something would happen. Old Man Murray, they went on to go work at Valve. Seanbaby is doing fucking everything,
Yeah, and I feel like I quote my brother every single time we talk about this, but
it's relevant.
It is relevant because he was at the time that Seanbaby was coming up in the early aughts. My brother was working at Blogger, working at Google, and he talks about how sometimes in the hiring process you wouldn't hire someone that was the best programmer sometimes. You sometimes hired someone that was like the best culture fit.
Or was funny.
This guy, okay, you know what? They can code pretty good. And I probably would like go get a beer with this guy. Opposed to someone that like, oh, their code is flawless and amazing. I kind of want to push them out of a plane without a parachute, you know?
That still happens. I'm pretty sure the reason I got the promotion I got was because I was affable and was able to converse with the people and not lose my shit.
It wasn't your firm handshake?
It was not my firm handshake because we did it on it was all on Teams. It was all on virtual meetings, so I didn't actually meet any of them in person. I've met them before at other things, but no, it was strictly over a fucking video
Clapped
call
outside for the first responders.
Absolutely, I did. Yes. My favorite headline is still like my wife was blowing guys while I was clapping for carers.
But my brother always says in one way or another when talking about stuff related to this is that weird assholes like me used to have it so much better back in the day. Like that was a career, being like a weirdo and having a niche interest. And now it's just like put the fucking fries in the bag, but there's not even the fries anymore.
Right. It's more like join the club. There's a bunch of weird assholes and they're all on YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm about to be another one of them, but whatever.
I'm very interested. Let us know when you launch. You know we support you.
Oh, yeah.
We beat around the bush long enough. I think it's time for shock.jpg.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
Let's fucking do it. We got... Oh, that is a terrible two-word phrase.
Go ahead.
Elbow baby.
From our good friends at chaotic.com, the actual name of the video is Elbow Deep in Her Friend. I'm sorry, this is Run the Gauntlet. This is from runthegauntlet.com. Please excuse me. Let me
no.
Yeah, so Elbow Deep in Her Friend, a fisting video. A woman, what appears to be, I don't understand the costume on the woman on the right.
Oh, it's so far. I've never even gone that far.
Wait.
I got tiny hands.
And this is in her ass.
I got tiny hands. I can't do this.
Oh,
no.
Pushing up the stomach. Like, yeah, I guess I better...
I guess I better do something to the pussy.
But then this is the funniest, weirdest part. Pushing up on the fist to make it look like a scene from Alien.
The navel piercing does not make this any better.
No. Oh, it's like a baby. That's why it's Elbow Baby.
The caption, I don't think I've ever seen someone go this deep before. Me too.
Yeah. Really fucking weird, guys.
Exactly 60 seconds.
And it's just long enough to make me not puke, but
oh, that's upsetting.
Every time I see something like that, I'm like, is this fake? This has to be fake. Please tell me this is fake.
Listen, she'd be really great as a union plumber. Has no problem sticking her hand up there, getting in deep.
What's funny is she's wearing a plastic food service glove on the hand, but then just immediately goes
quickly irrelevant.
It's like, yeah, your hand. Okay, great, but what about the rest of you? Yeah, just
that glove is full of something.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah.
Clearly. What if she accidentally got the glove lost in there? Like, you know,
Well, thankfully it is in the ass, so it will work its way out eventually.
One hopes. We're all praying. We're all praying for the baby glove.
Amen to that. Yeah, just a glove full of shit just emerges slowly, which would be its own follow-up video. Actually, that would be the thing to do.
Imagine if the video of the guy climbing the rock climbing wall without harness.
That one fucked you up. Yeah.
When he falls and he ragdolls on the ground, a petite Asian woman came by and just fisted him up to the elbow in the ass.
That video fucked you up, huh?
It's pretty good. Because it's not like explicit.
No,
it's just unfortunate.
It's just long
it's not
enough.
good enough to be. It's not faces of death worthy, I guess is how we should phrase it.
Yeah, it's not gory. It's just, boy, do you feel that moment before he hits. Like, oh no.
When he pushes away from the wall. And you should stop with the whole to be continued music.
The Roundabout by Yes from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, it just, God.
Which is why I don't do the death ones anymore. I can't do it. I
don't think that guy died.
Yeah, but even if he didn't, my God.
All right. Well, geez, I guess it's time for the breath mint, Jason.
Yes, it is, sir.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
After I've just,
Bummed everyone out.
bumped everyone out. You ever think about all the people who've died?
Yeah.
Just conceptually, the idea of just...
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, like the Final Fantasy movie. It's just all the spirits within.
Oh, yeah. I haven't thought about that in a while.
I feel like that movie's not accurate because no one has a vape.
No, that's true. That's fair enough. Yeah. It's not the future.
I left my vape outside the module.
and at least one crew member dies trying to get it. Yeah.
Where's my jewel?
Yeah.
Where the fuck's my jewel?
And it's magnetized to the side of the ship. And like, fuck.
The spirits within was a cautionary tale about vaping.
But other than the spirits within, which apparently we've been thinking about a lot, what have you been up to this past a week or so there, big dog?
Tons of live music, my dude.
Yes, sir.
Friday night was wild. Well, it turns out Flay and Tom Green were the same evening.
Oh, no.
But they were venues that were literally less than 100 feet away from each other.
Well, that's something at least, yeah.
So, unfortunately, could not get a faux pass, even as a venue photographer for Tom Green. Very adamant, no photos, no anything, no like phones being out, which was pretty wild. So me and Em went over to Del Mar Hall, got for the Flay show. I photographed the opener, Vienna, who were awesome. I hope I get to photograph them again soon. But then hopped over to the pageant to check out Tom Green's set. Saw a little bit more of the local opener than I wanted to. We saw about 20 minutes of Tom Green's set, and pretty funny.
Yeah. Still?
I got to see Tom Green in real life.
Okay.
And it felt good.
Okay.
I got to have some... I was like, it's Tom Green. Oh, the President of the United States. The President of the United States fired me. But I'm over at Del Mar Hall. We're over at Del Mar Hall with the other two house photographers. They're like, oh, you're double dipping tonight? I'm like, I couldn't even get a photo pass for Tom Green. We're just going to go over there for some chuckles. And Rima's looking at me kind of funny. I'm like, come on. If there's anyone in this world you think I would do this for, it would be Tom Green. Like, don't look at me and think like, Tom Green wasn't a big thing for him when he was like 12. Fuck me. Like, that was like the funniest fucking thing. Even the fucking preview commercials where they're making fun of the Gap ads and he's like, follow the trail to happiness. And he's just like, this like smash cuts to him in like the fucking sleeveless hoodie, just violently like swinging the zipper up and down, zipping and unzipping the hoodie at like the fucking female model. Like, yeah, it's
the Tom Green show where he made a statue of his parents fucking and put it on the front lawn.
the lesbians on the hood. The episode where he roasts Glenn Humplick for not being on the show because Glenn Humplick had like a real job, like working for, I think, like the phone service in Canada. So they did a thing where like, Glenn, every single show that you don't show up for, we're going to reveal another part of your phone number. And the whole bit is they had the board facing the window out in the Times Square. So if you were on the other side, you could see the rest of his phone number. It's so really just torturing Glenn.
Yeah,
is kind of the best. But I mean, like the bits where he's like, "I'm a guy walking with a bag. I'm a guy walking with a bag. You know, I'm a school shooter. You know, all that stuff's pretty funny." But
so, what is his new stuff like? What's his new material?
It's like Jay Chandrasekhar. I know I just butchered his name from Broken Lizard. You know, Super Troopers.
Chandrasekhar.
It's kind of like his stand-up in the sense where it's like very much like I'm just telling you stories about my life. Oh, I'm not poo-pooing that stand-up or that kind of humor because I think that actually can be really fucking funny. But he's basically talking to the crowd like he's talking to a friend at the bar.
Okay.
And I think for him that's very effective. And I mean, yeah, he's doing his bit, but he's working his narratives and he's got the jokes. And he's
Well, of course, he tells the story about the president firing him because he's told that on a bunch of podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, it's a funny. You know, it is kind of funny just because I ate a breakfast burrito in the hallway with him one time. You know, you're just like, there's really not a lot to extrapolate from that story other than like, yeah, that's a weird fucking thing that happened to me, and you really can't look at it other than like, yeah, that is fucking peculiar. It's
very strange. Yeah.
But there was a guy that was talking. And Tom Green was like, "Oh, hey, guy that everyone whose friends would wish shut the fuck up. Hey, so, you know, your friends, I bet they always wish you would stop fucking talking. And they brought you here hoping you would stop fucking talking because Lord forbid that you couldn't be the center of attention for a moment." And you're like, "We good?" And the guy's like, I guess I heard something along the lines like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." And Tom's just like, "Okay, well, you know, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Please don't do that again." And realized that he just totally killed the mood. So he goes, "All right, everyone, when I say chicken, you say sandwich." And so he goes, "Chicken." We all go sandwich and clap.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, we're back on track. I'm sorry, everyone." I'm like,
brilliant.
That's a pretty good way to deal with an interruption. Okay, I've roasted you. Can I not be an asshole to you now?
Right.
Okay, cool. I don't feel like I have to be an asshole to you
reel
anymore.
it in a bit,
Let's get this back on track so we all have a good time.
Yeah. Okay.
And he brought his dog out, and his dog was terrified, but eventually she calmed down, and it was I wish I could have stayed for the whole thing. The 20 minutes I saw was funny. I got to see Tom Green live. We got to laugh.
Bucket list. Yeah, baby.
And then go see Flay absolutely fucking destroy it at Del Mar Hall. Not a sold out show, but pretty close. The first time I saw Flay was like 14 years ago at Luminary Arts Center.
Wow.
In the basement of a church.
Mm-hmm.
And if there were 30 people there, I'd be fucking surprised. And I remember watching her perform and thinking like, man, she's going, there's only a handful of us here and she's fucking going for it. I remember thinking like, this is fucking out there. Like even for me, my hipster ass was like, this is kind of weird. Like I kind of fuck with it, but I'm like, what was that? Like that is like, is that like some Brooklyn kid? Like is that what they're doing out on the coast? Like,
right.
And now everything sounds like that.
Yeah, it is weird how her sound definitely did spread. Because I remember I had a friend, Andy Lynn, who introduced me to Flay about 10 years ago. And I was like, what the fuck is this? She says, oh, no, this is Flay. She's awesome. I haven't really kept up with her. And then I heard Mono come out, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
And Mono was like, oh, okay, all right.
Dude,
and
it's so fucking good.
Mono's great. This is
she
a great
was
record.
Amazing. And like, and her fucking road crew all had like fucking mono jackets. Like they had like fucking zip up.
Sick.
They had zip ups with like it was like the mono like music center.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that fucking like I'm sorry, not enough road crews have bespoke fucking gear anymore.
Sick fucking branding. Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, fuck, man. They don't even give out like some tours don't even give out like local crew shirts anymore. She killed it. She sounded great for unfortunately going deaf in an ear, and you know, she's sober now, and she just had like a really great way of weaving like her story and like where she has been and where she's going as an artist and as a musician into this performance. And I'm sorry to say that I haven't really been following her that closely.
Yeah, me neither until Mono came out. Yeah.
But I've been fortunate enough to have seen her. I think this is my 4th time. And I've been fortunate enough to see her and know that she's still making. So it's like, oh, good for her.
Yeah.
Like she's still doing it and like amazing. Like Bert came in from Tom Green and he was there for about all of 10 minutes, but he's just like, oh, fucking shit. he's like, I'm so glad people are fucking here. You know, I think the last time she played here, it wasn't maybe the crowd that they were hoping, but he's like, it was fucking packed. It wasn't sold out, but it was packed.
I mean, she's
like a really good vibe. Then the night after that was fucking Bry Eyes.
Ooh.
Which was fucking phenomenal. I have never been a Bry Eyes fan. Went through, kind of jumped through the catalog and like, okay, I think I've grown enough from my cynical teenage years to accept this and see it for what it is. I'm like, okay, I kind of fuck with this a little bit. So Conor Oberst kind of has a reputation of being like blackout drunk on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's any secret. I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school.
No, it's pretty widely known.
Speaking to people who are fans of his, that this was apparently the first time in like over a decade that he has played in St. Louis and wasn't like fucked up. I can't say the man was sober, but I can say the man was lucid.
It's better than most.
It was quite a thing to watch. The band sounded amazing. He sounded really good. His voice was strong. He looked healthier than he has in the last 5 or 6 months. He was wearing like this cardigan, and his hair was always in his face. Maybe this is gauche of me to say, I don't know, but it kind of was like, oh, this is the closest I am ever going to get to photographing Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I mean, given the slavish devotion that Bright Eyes fans have, and some of there's some parallels. I can see it.
I say this from a place of love and affection. Guy kind of looked like shit, and I admired him for it because it looked like he did not care. Like, I'm just going to come out here, I'm going to play the fucking songs, I'm going to whip some fucking ass, and y'all can't fucking say I didn't come out here and dominate.
Bright Eyes has never been the project of his that I've connected most with. For me, it's always been Desaparecidos, which I always pronounce wrong, and if you want to correct me on that, give me a call, 314-246-9766. But I always say it wrong, and Chris Ward, former guest of the show, is quick to correct me on it every time, and I don't fucking care. But that project, with its strident anti-capitalism leaning and punk rock and kind of this raw energy, is always the stuff I'm more attracted to. But there have been a few Bright Eyes albums that devastated me emotionally. Like Lifted is off the fucking charts. I appreciate what he does. I don't necessarily like everything Bright Eyes has ever put out. I'm like, yep. Again, same with K-Flay. It's like, respect, brother. You're doing it.
Super impressed. And the opener for this part of the tour was Hooray for the Riff Raff, who also absolutely dominated. It's my first time actually getting to see them live. I feel like I have met like half a dozen people that have been associated with Hooray for the Riff Raff in my time doing this music thing. I feel like I have met so many people like, yeah, you know, like, oh yeah, like I do merch for them or something.
I was doing hand claps for a Polyphonic Spree, and then I got wrapped up in this, yeah. Whatever it was.
But so it was very cool to actually see Hooray for the Riff Raff, and masterful performance. I feel like maybe in part why Bright Eyes has been so good on the stretch is that like Hooray for the Riff Raff sets the high water mark. Like, man, we gotta fucking at least do that good. I was just super fucking impressed. Sounded great. The lead guitar player doing some fucking juicy slide guitar tone.
Okay.
Some also fantastic playing. Everyone, it's just one of those bands like, man, everyone's on just their fucking A game. Everyone's just in the fucking pocket. Everything sounds right. You're just like, damn. Isn't music cool?
Yeah,
and I said something about it to Bert, and he's like, hold tight. We're announcing a show with them in a couple months, or we're announcing a show soon that's going to happen in a couple months. And I was like, oh, fuck, okay. Which I think they're playing Duck Room on the 26th of June, I want to say is the date. Send an email out to their agent and like, hey, here's my photo gallery. Really love this set. Heard y'all are coming back soon. I would love to see you again. They respond with like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, please let me know if you want to come. And I'm like, sick.
Yeah.
So Hooray for the Riff Raff, fantastic as always. I mean, I've listened to them before, always appreciate their music, but getting to see them in the flesh, excellente. Okay, I'm on the 3 out of 4 shows. It's a busy month. Movements.
Oh.
Citizen.
Yeah.
Scowl and Downgrade, I believe. 2 nights ago. That was one of those shows where like you just could feel it in the air. We were like, oh, this is cool. Like, we're at something cool. Like, there's no one's mistaken that this is the place to be, that this isn't the place to be. Like, I feel like a thing I really hate about St. Louis is the chip on the shoulder of like enjoying something because you're afraid that someone like from Chicago is going to walk in and be like, oh, you guys still like Matt and Kim? children. You know, like that someone like an older kid's going to make fun of you for having fun.
Yeah, how dare you enjoy something?
But I think that's probably going to be a show that people talk about for a minute in certain circles. Downgrade, really awesome, heavy shoegazy shit, which is, you know, the style of the time. Really enjoyed them. Scowl fucking crushed it. Unbelievably. They're just like another fucking like hardcore band from Philly that's just like, what if we decide to just whip ass all day? I mean, there's like 18 bands from Philly right now. It feels like Sheer Mag, fucking Gouge Away, Mannequin Pussy.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's going on over there in Philly? I just heard all Philly thugs were gay, but apparently the hardcore bands are good too.
Something in the water, baby.
That is probably the deepest Twitter reference I could make.
Undefeated
in hardcore and thug shaking. I was probably the oldest photographer in the pit for this show. You know, just to show how weirdly sentimental I am, I realized that it was the 16th anniversary of me photographing live music.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
16 years of this bullshit. Forgoing shelter, happiness, and love to take photos of people with their mouths open. So it's just like these like kids. I mean, I say kids, they're probably in their early 20s. And I'm just like watching Kat from Scowl just fucking run around the stage. It's so fucking cool. The band being so, everyone looks good. Everyone's playing good. Everyone sounds great. It's just a fucking cool ass set. And I'm like firing off a sequence of photos of Kat or like someone from the band doing something cool. And then I'm looking like where I need to move next for my next angle. And I'm looking at these kids and their cameras aren't even near their faces. I'm like, what are y'all fucking doing? I'm Hassan in them. What the fuck you doing, chatter? The fuck? Like, this is fucking money. Jesus Christ. I could have pushed 50 photos.
Yeah.
From just being in the pit for 3 songs. And somehow I made it down to like 20 or 25.
Okay.
But just amazing energy. And I just like, to me, I was just like, oh, I'm back at a basement show. I'm back at fucking Bonerville. It just happens to be elevated above me.
Right.
Like, I know how to shoot this. And I did. All it was missing was the Mad Dog in my camera bag and a fucking bonfire out back. And I was back in my fucking element. I was back in the old days where I was fucking knocking it out every night. They fucking killed it. Amazing, amazing performance. Mind-blowing. Then Citizen. Now, Citizen, I don't know too much about other than they had 2 records that I knew of. Youth, and I think the other one's called Everyone Goes to Heaven or Everyone's Going to Heaven. That was a phenomenal performance. Just like some good kind of like post-hardcore Midwestern shit. Entirely something I can get along with. Really enjoyed their set. Got some great photos. But Movements, that's where people kind of went on another level of hype. And now I'm used to photographing music in St. Louis for the 16 years I've been doing it. A band like Scowl that I'm stoked for on a bill like this is the Cigarette Break Band. You know, I'm doing some clapping here for St. Louis. They fucking showed up for Scowl. They showed up for Citizen. And Citizen's been around for a minute, so that makes sense. But Scowl's relatively new. That fucking crowd, man, just kind of kept building and building as far as like the cool energy, people crowd surfing, people looking out for each other, no one being shitty. And then Movements comes and it's just like, all right, we're all just gonna fucking bliss the fuck out. It was cool. It's such a rare energy, particularly in St. Louis, where it's just like, man, you just look around like we're all having a good time.
Yeah.
There's like no one that's like trying to be a shithead. No one's trying to like rub up on women. It's not the Glorilla show,
right,
where everyone's fucking fighting each other to the point where the show has to fucking stop and end. It was super fucking cool. Got some great photos. Movements, not necessarily. So there's a weird thing for me. Like hardcore music is like shit where everyone smells bad and everything is recorded like on a Tascam 4-track. And I realized that there's a whole entire generation that came past me where hardcore music just sounds like a really heavy version of Incubus. And that's cool. I'm not saying these are bad bands or bad records, but it's like this isn't hardcore to me. This is like post-punk or like something else. But that was a fucking cool night. I just finished editing those photos. Now we're going to show 4 out of 4. I'm making up for all the times where I have breath mints and I'm just like, oh no, I watched the dog take a shit and I was like, damn, you did all that? I'll tell you something was really crazy. I took the dog out to shit the other day and it was bright green.
Oh.
Because we feed him a fiber heavy, vegetable heavy diet.
Sure.
He's got little tummy issues. Brought him back in, then went back out. And like the 2 minutes it took me to go back out and get because I had the poop bag on my hand.
Scoop it, yeah.
The poop went from being like bright green to like black. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Dogs are really wild like that.
We don't have dog shit that turns white anymore, though.
No, the dog shit don't turn white anymore. They got rid of that with broadcast TV.
They patched that out. Yeah.
Patched that out of dogs. I'll tell you because we're talking about dog shit. When it was really fucking cold earlier this year, I took him out and he shit. And I kid you not, fucking steam was rising off it. And I was like telling a coworker about that when I still was working my job. And he was like, "No way." It wasn't, why are you talking to me about the dog shit? And it was like, no, it really does that? And I'm like, dude, I know. I had no idea. No fucking clue the dog shit could do that. But it was fucking steaming in the cold, on the cold ground. Anyways, so last night, a show I had no fucking idea how I was going to feel about, Kim Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew, well, this is going to be interesting, and whatever I post is probably going to get a lot of attention because they have a pretty rabid fan base online. Kim Dracula, for those who do not know, is a TikTok musician from Tasmania, Australia.
Hell yeah.
Of all fucking places, and kind of looks like the dude from My Chemical Romance if you had to draw him from memory.
Yeah, actually.
And I'm not trying to be mean.
No. You're being factual in this case, yeah.
And it's definitely not my kind of music. Oddly enough, ended up being, I think, one of my favorite shows of the year so far. The first band, Keonashi, who are like a weird hardcore band from like... Also from fucking Philly.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Also from fucking Philly. Philly dudes and girls run the world, apparently.
Rise the fuck up. Let's go.
Their music's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Is not shit I would listen to. However, their live performance got some respect. Dude comes out. It's a 4-piece band. Bass player, guitar player, drummer. And then the vocalist who also has like an old school backpacker pedal board on a keyboard stand for all of his samples and his weird vocal shit, which I fuck with.
Yeah.
Actually, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, we're in some territory. And dude comes out, singer's this big, tall motherfucker. And he comes out and he's like, I forgot my my shoes in the van and I can't go out and get them because obviously I'm here on stage. So I'm performing in some Ugg slippers. He's holding up the Ugg slippers. It fucking rule. And it's just the weirdest shit. The other two photographers, Carrie was there and Mr. Dustin Winter. And they're both just kind of like, the fuck? And I mean, I'm like that as well, like after like the first couple minutes. And then after I realized like, oh, this is just 4 music nerds. They're good friends. And they're like, what if we just made a band and we don't care what it sounds like? Once I understood, it's like, oh, these are just people that like love music and just wanted to make something interesting and different. Then I fucked with it.
Okay.
Eventually, at one point, I guess someone ran out and got his sneakers from the van. So the band's just like fucking throwing down. He's over on his vocal mic.
Putting his shoes on.
No, he's holding his fucking Nikes in one hand and fucking going on about some shit about like crossing the street or something. And like tweaking shit on his vocals, like doing like a weird like pitch shift or something, holding up his fucking Nikes, and like, I'm like, this fucking rules. Anything I could have expected to happen tonight, this is not on my fucking bingo card. In no universe is this on my bingo card. I was like, that was fucking weird. I don't know if it's something I would listen to, but that was a really fucking cool performance. I'm not saying I would ever give those guys a ride to the airport, but I would share some of my favorite recipes with them. That kind of vibe. Then, boy, I'm sorry for this being a long breath mint segment, but I've had some short ones. So the next band is a band is a hardcore group from Tokyo, and a couple members I think are from like Brooklyn. Crystal Lake, pretty good shit. I was cracking up. These guys playing heavy, growling, sound fucking good, sound fucking tight, fucking no complaints. No complaints from me. Like, I was like, oh, these guys did not come to fuck around. Mm-hmm. These guys are playing some, like, guitars going, drums going, the vocalist looking like a tough motherfucker. But, like, all Japanese bands, and I don't mean the stereotype, but I've been doing this for 16 years. I've been doing this for 16 years, and I feel like I've learned a couple things being in the industry.
Sure.
No matter how fucking hardcore or scary or like serious tough guy a band from like Japan, most Asian countries, no matter how hard they do that, they will always say things like, thank you so much. We love playing for you all in St. Louis. Yeah, but then be like, I need that fucking pit open. 2-step. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I love y'all, St. Louis. Y'all are beautiful. I need to see some motion. And then the dude's on the riser making fucking gun hands and doing like, he's like fucking doing fake recoil people. I need to see some movement. And like they're doing like the heart hands and shit. I'm like, this fucking rules.
Yeah.
I love the whole like, we're some hardcore motherfuckers. But hey, man,
it's all
dude,
love.
we're doing a fucking barbecue for my uncle next week. It's his 65, and like, dude, I'm just gonna tell you, man, there's gonna be too much beer and too much food. My fucking parents are going, wait, dude, you want to? Dude, we're inviting some other people. You want to come by and hang out, man?
Right.
Like, we're just gonna be fucking grilling and hanging out, man. My uncle's turning 65. There's gonna be too much food. That's like the whole entire fucking vibe. Like,
that's amazing,
dude. We're fucking grilling this weekend, and we're bringing dude, it's gonna be too much fucking food, man. Like,
come through,
man. We'll give you a plate.
Yeah,
come hang out. You know my mom loves you.
And then Hanabie, right? That's the one I was excited about. Hanabie.
Should be Hanabie. If Baby Metal were dressed like Hannah Montana, I think is how someone described it to me in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, because I saw the Part of Me I Have to Go Now video last week when we were talking about him. I was like, oh, yeah.
There is a segment of like Japanese girl punk, girl metal that's like, I don't want to work for a pervert, which just seems, it's concerning. That seems to be a consistent thing. I don't want to work in an office for a horny guy. They were great. Lots of fantastic energy, cool fucking guitar riffs, great crowd interaction, fucking amazing outfits. I thought I was going to at least enjoy this. I didn't expect to have a really good fucking time. And Kim Dracula comes out. And I gotta mention, Kim Dracula does not come out on stage like a normal ass person. Kim Dracula is a little different. Kim Dracula came from the second floor, through the stairs, through the mosh pit, or through the floor, through the dance floor, then through the side door, then onto the stage. Family circus ass route through the venue. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I fuck with that. Not only I think one of my favorite performances of the year so far, some of my favorite photos I've gotten so far this year. Kim Dracula, they are what they're doing, regardless if it's your thing or not, the musicianship and the professionalism it takes to not only have yourself and 4 other bandmates be in such tight syncopation, but to just even think of one person's part in this whole entire performance. Not just the time signature changes, the fucking key changes. I'm going to be honest, I don't know where some songs began or ended, but I was thoroughly fucking entertained.
Okay.
And the crowd was fucking into it. I'm going to lie, I thought it was some goofy shit. Maybe it still is. But the musicality that it takes to perform what I witnessed is beyond most of the musicians I have photographed.
Damn.
Like, holy shit. Like, this wasn't half-assed.
Right.
The guitar player, I mean, it felt like studio ringers, and that's fine. But they all, like, wore the makeup, did the gimmick, seemed like they were all happy to be a part of it. They had a guy who played saxophone and synth. He fucking crushed it on saxophone. And Kim Dracula, many times during the performance, like, walked away to let the saxophone player, like, listen, my saxophone player, he's too good. We gotta let him go. We gotta let him riff.
Let him have some.
Let him have it. The bass player, she had a couple moments. The guitar player had a couple moments. The drummer had, like, it's just like, damn. And I understood now the music that was playing in between bands. Like, oh, this is like band nerd shit. Like, this is really like music nerd, band nerd type of deal. This is for people that recognize that's a shit ton of fucking time signature changes. Super fun. And actually realize, like, oh, a couple of these songs structurally and performance-wise actually kind of fucking slap, are pretty interesting. Erratic mixture of genres was a little sporadic for me. But once I realized that, like, that's just kind of where we're at musically. If we're doing something new, it's just going to be it's going to be a weird stew. Sure, we're going to do fucking screamo rap metal, and then all of a sudden have 2 measures of calypso music in the middle.
Sure. Why
and
not?
then go back to rap metal.
Sure.
And okay.
Yeah.
And somehow, by the end of the evening, it made sense. I have to really say that Kim Dracula does something interesting, does something special and unique. Even if it ain't my thing, I was impressed by what I observed. Just like, oh, wow, that's so... It's weird to say about a Australian TikTok star. Just the professionalism. The dedication to the craft. I don't know. It's weird to say this is like a musician's this is a musician's musician. So yeah, I don't know. I know I had some reservations.
I did too. Yeah.
I at least brought a musician with me.
Hey, good.
So
good.
She had a great time, and because I was like worried for a second. She's like, "No, this was amazing. Like, what a fucking interesting cross section of music."
I would say she probably had a really good time.
Oh, she fucking lost her mind at Russian Circles, and I was like, "All right, I'm hanging with the right person." And she was like, "That was so fucking cool." But yeah, that's my 4 shows. And the next week I have Anne Berlin, The Faint, Laura Jane Grace, potentially Mannequin Pussy. Woo. Then we have Failed Bus Accident on Friday.
That's right. Saturday.
Please.
I was going to say.
Fuck. I'm getting all my... everything's going on. It's a lot going on right now.
Everything happens so much.
Horse ebooks was so
I'm
right
telling
about
you.
that.
I'm telling you.
Not every year has a month like this.
True.
So you gotta
Feast or famine.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And here's me hat in hand. It takes a lot of people, a lot of hard work to make this shit happen when it comes to live music, particularly today. And for me, the best way I can show respect to it is to be there and take good photos.
Yeah, you're documenting.
That's my touchy-feely perception on taking photos of people with their mouth open. I want to hear your thoughts on Severance.
So yes, my one and only breath mint this week, just for time's sake, is Severance Season 2. It just wrapped, and I have a lot of thoughts. A lot of people that I've seen online, oh, this is the weakest Severance season yet.
There's only been 2, motherfucker.
Exactly. I gotta wonder, did they watch the same show I did? This happens all the time. Did you watch the same show? Because
I have not watched Season 2.
Okay.
So temper some of your spoilers a little bit for my
I will
sake.
very much do that.
But I did really enjoy Season 1.
Season 1 is a corker. I watched all of it in advance of Season 2, which I do recommend you doing, because it definitely keeps those ideas fresh. Season 2 opens immediately after, at least for any mark, the end, the big cliffhanger of Season 1, which, for those who haven't seen the show, maybe skip ahead about 5 minutes. When at the end of Season 1, where Mark is at the party and he yells, "She's alive," in reference to his wife. Season 2 opens with any Mark arriving in the elevator and running. Like, it's this extended running sequence because he's trying to find the woman he thought was just, the wellness coach, who he now, the any Mark now knows is his Audi's wife. Takes off just like that from the jump. So she's alive. And then as soon as that rings out over the Season 1 credits, Season 2 picks up and Mark's back at work, right? The any Mark is running, trying to find her. He doesn't find her, which is the only spoiler I think I'm going to give you. But a few others I'm sure will accidentally kind of come out in the description of the season. But the basics of it are that the rest of the season is, I got to find her. I got to work with my Audi to help him find his wife. I have a mission now, much like, when in the end of season 1, where Dylan had a mission to have them all do the overtime bit. So it's all building to that. There's an entire episode devoted to Patricia Arquette's character, Miss Cobell, where she goes back to her hometown where Lumen had originally been there back when she was young and had devastated the local economy. Everything is fucked because Lumen showed up. And so you get this interesting backstory of her, but also the backstory of Lumen. But there's so much that happens in the season that's just moment after moment of great characters and really solid writing. And people were saying the Miss Cobell episode was like, oh, this is the weakest of the thing. We're hitting Lost territory here. I'm like, you really are not paying attention. You're watching the show with your phone out. Miss Cobell and her whole deal, as it turns out, is central to what the show is actually about. Mr. Milchick gets a huge bump in the amount of stuff he does, which I love him. The guy who plays Mr. Milchick, whose name escapes me, but he's brilliant in this. At one point, he's told that he uses too many big words, and so he sits in front of a mirror practicing turning something into a shorter phrase. It looks psychotic. He looks like he's having a mental breakdown. There's new characters introduced that are great, but they don't stick around very long. There's some returning folks from that first season, which...
Does Christopher Walken come back?
Christopher Walken is back.
Excellent.
Yes. Bert, both his...
A really beautiful solo performance.
Oh, and him and John Turturro together. Anytime they're together.
Just amazing.
I love them. It's
John Turturro, a guy having, I think, like his second renaissance as a performer.
The second or third. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a great dinner scene. There's a dinner scene with the Audi Irving and the Audi Bert and Bert's husband, played by John Noble from Fringe.
What the fuck?
And it's extremely tense and it's very uncomfortable and it goes on way too fucking long. But I think that's the point. There's so many moments you could pluck out of this new season where you could just kind of live there for a bit. It's weird. A lot of plot is happening, but it's also, it pulls back a little bit and it's more contemplative because I think they're trying for something else where they're doing character studies. So there's almost, I think, 2 or 3 of the 10 episodes of the season are dedicated to one character.
That's kind of the multi-season arc move.
Right. But I think...
The first season, you set up the concept, you set up the basic plot. Second season, you start going into in depth of, like, how do we get here?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of go back, you start looking at things that happened before
the
series happened.
What's interesting is that we do not go back. It's mostly just about these characters and how all of this has affected them or what they're trying to do now, or there's not a lot of navel gazing with the exception of the Miss Cobell episode. And a lot of that is, again, just straight dialogue. Oh, we worked together when we were kids. They don't explain anything beyond that. This happened when I was young.
Okay.
So no flashbacks, thank God. We don't do the flashback thing. And I think one of the strengths of this season is that it lets, because the first season was 9 episodes, this one's 10. A little bit of extra time gives you just that much more of a little bit of breathing room. Now, the only character that I really wanted to see more of was my boy Rickon. I love Rickon. He's a pompous ass. He's the brother-in-law.
That's right.
The you that you are author.
Oh, that fucking guy.
And he's in it for a little bit, but he's kind of sidelined because there's more interesting things happening. But Severance Season 2 is shaping up to be probably one of the best second seasons, short of maybe Breaking Bad, Yellow Jackets, Sopranos. And that says a lot coming from me. Just because it's doing something interesting with the ideas that the first season set up. And just like the first season, it looks great. Whatever Ben Stiller has been hiding from us all this time, I'm really sad that he, waited this long, because if this is what you've had cooking, man, please give us more. Don't do any more dodgeball movies. Do this. This is what you're meant to do. He's good at it. Adam Scott too. Boy, comedy looks good on you. Everybody loved you in Step Brothers, but what the hell? You've been hiding this from us? Adam Scott and Ben Stiller, guys who are known for comedy, doing this? What? When I heard there was a Ben Stiller show coming to Apple TV.
I think some of my favorite, like, Robin Williams performances have been dramatic performances.
Exactly.
1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
A couple other things.
Yeah, Insomnia.
Oh, shit. Insomnia. I forgot about that. You know, and Jim Carrey. Happy Gilmore, motherfucker.
Oh,
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Yeah,
you know,
sure. Well, I've
Uncut
always...
Gems is a masterclass.
Oh, Punch Drunk Love.
Of course.
Even Spanglish.
Spanglish is a fun movie.
It works for him. I think he's got the goods.
It's got a great rhythm to it.
I think time will be kinder to Spanglish than people were when it first came out. I think it's gonna get a bit of a critical reevaluation in the next couple of years. I give it about 2-3 years. We're gonna get the Spanglish renaissance. The only other one I think of is Will Ferrell in Stranger Than Fiction.
He did good.
I
think it's the only time him screaming through his lines actually was poignant.
Yeah, I do want to see more Will Ferrell in more dramas. I think there's something there.
Yeah, I think he's in the same thing where Jack Black is, where it's just like, where the fucking money is.
And look,
like Jack Black is, you know what? He gives whores a bad name.
Listen, I am going to go to the drive-in.
You go with your fat fuck action figure.
You're damn right.
Your Happy Time Harry.
Action bills, yes. Yes, I am going.
God.
That first
I just want to buy one of those to blow it up with firecrackers.
Hell yeah. Put a knife on its hand, yeah. Yeah.
Just fucking duct tape a knife to it.
Yeah.
It just fucking just go through a crowd of people. With your fat fuck action figure with it. People are gonna be so confused. That guy got a knife? The fuck is that taped to? Oh god, he's stabbing me with it. Ah! Oh, are those my entrails? Is that fucking Jack Black? Why has he got a beard? Oh, I'm dying! Fuck! Why'd they make a toy of that?
Well, I guess it's about that time of the show where we tell people we're find us online. Hold on. I guess
my Jack. Yeah, if you want to tell us how you made your Jack Black fat fuck knife.
Right, tell people where they can find you online. Jesus Christ.
They'll never see it coming, man. Totally gonna discombobulate. It's like a smoke screen. That's how Tupac died.
Oh, come
He's like,
on.
the fuck is that? Oh shit.
He was shivved.
Dude, someone
Bob
showed
him
him a photo of a dog wearing sunglasses, and then while he was distracted, he just popped him through the car door.
Who knows?
If you want to tell me how you made your fat fuck shiv, now I have to go out and buy the fucking action figure and tape a knife to it.
Well, don't threaten me with a good time. All right.
And leave it in the fucking parking lot of the Catholic school down the street.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
It'll find a good home. If you want to harass me on the internet, you can find me at iShotGuidibord on ye old Twitter, ISHOTGUIDBORD. If you want to find me on Blue Sky and Instagram, you can find me at A Music Photographer. If you want to take a look at my photography portfolio of photos of people with their mouths open on stage, you go over to assholemusicphotographer.com.
Fantastic.
I love to be alive and living. We want to check out the last and only good media website left in St. Louis. You can head over to theartsstl.com, where there's some really good photos that Laura Gerald took of Bright Eyes. And you can go read my Disturbed write-up. I got down with the sickness.
Ooh,
Indeed. Jason, where can they tell you do things to yourself.
You can tell me those things anywhere there's a video crime, VIDEOCRIME. Chances are that's me. We're talking Blue Sky. We're talking Letterboxd. Like I said, if it's there, it's probably me. If you want to find me on a show that's not this one, I play a fictionalized version of horror writer Stephen King on a show that's called Submitted for the Approval of the Midnight Pals. It's a mashup of Are You Afraid of the Dark and famous people hanging around. So I'm very excited about the one where I play Richard Bachman. I think I mentioned this before. midnight-pals.simplecast.com, or search anywhere podcasts are sold for the phrase Midnight Pals. Chances are you can contact this show in a number of ways. My personal favorite is, of course, the telephone. That's 314-246-9766. That's 314-AHOY POO. You can call us, text us, leave us a voicemail, whatever it is that you feel like doing or saying. You can also shoot us an email, Jason at 8 minutesofdogsbarking.com, or Bryan with a Y at 8 minutesofdogsbarking.com. You can also support the show, patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. There we do our post-show hangout that we like to call Thanks, I Hate It. We also do stuff where we just freak out for a little bit called the Mind Zone. We also do, at the $10 level, the punishment tier. Last year, we did the 90-minute puke fetish video commentary track for the Garo Monster home delivery movie. We still have yet to decide what is happening this year, but if you get in at the $10 level, hey, you might get to choose what that is. And also, for those of you in the St. Louis / Southern Illinois metro area, May 22nd at the Heavy Anchor, we are doing a live show.
They're letting us talk to people.
They are. And so we're going to be doing this show live on stage, one night only.
People, I've told people, hey, if you really want to see me crash and burn, this is the opportunity. And immediately getting text back, like, with screenshots, is in my calendar.
Yeah. When is it?
When is it? Oh, yeah. Finally, he's getting his comeuppance.
We're also bringing back one of our favorite guests. Striker Spurlock will be one of our friendly, wonderful guests.
This is God's favorite son.
Amen to that. And so get your tickets now. That'll be over at the heavyanchor.com website. They have the links there. Get in on the ground floor of what is sure to be a comedy masterpiece. And we'll be releasing that episode, by the way, just for the Patreon members, since there are a bunch of folks who are not in town who won't be able to make that show. So if you can't make the show, join the Patreon. You see what I'm saying? As we always say at this time, namaste. Good luck. Give mommy a good gut fucking. 25th Amendment now. Who ate all the pussy?
What's that knife tape to?
Cut. Print. Beautiful.